The British monarchy system is a very powerful constitutional monarchy, even though the king or queen doesn't seem to wield political and executive power, but they continue to undertake constitutional and representational duties as head of state of the United Kingdom, as well as the other 14 Commonwealth nations. The death of Queen Elizabeth II, the longest serving monarch in British history, spanning about 7 decades, occurred on the 8th of September 2022 at age 96. Wow, what a reign. Guys, she was crowned the Queen of England just when she was just 25. Another of her feat, she was married for 73 years. That means, guys, she got married 3 years before she was coronated as the Queen of England to Prince Philip, who just recently passed last year. Their marriage was magical and seemed like match made in heaven. Little wonder why both of them died peacefully just within 1 year apart. I know the Queen's death has generated varied reactions, but the one that took the world by storm is attributed to our very own sister, a United States-based Nigerian professor, Professor Uju Anya, a professor of second language acquisition, who is a polyglot, who can speak 6 different languages. In fact, she can speak Russian, she can speak German, she can speak Spanish, she can speak Portuguese, English, and Igbo, who made incendiary comments about the Queen's passing, saying that the Queen will, in fact, experience excruciating, painful death. That the Queen supervised a government-sponsored genocide that killed half of her people. And of course, perhaps she was making reference to the Nigerian Civil War, where about 3 million Igbos were killed. But this comment didn't sit, a lot of people reacted to this comment. It didn't sit well with so many people who felt that she disrespected the dead, and that, you know, in Africa, it's almost like a taboo. They will tell you that don't speak ill of the dead. And so they felt that she didn't respect the dead. And then, I mean, she had a lot of backlash. Even the university where she's, teaching, came out to, dissociate itself from her comment, because the university said that they are big crusader for freedom of expression, and that, but what she said was indeed never a representation of what the university stands for. So many people were calling for a sack, and then, back and forth. People said she was insensitive. I mean, the Queen just passed, and then she was making those kind of comments that it did not reflect the African culture, where we are always told to respect the dead. If you have the contrary view to that, you can leave your comments in the comment section. Let's interact. If you think what Professor Uju Anya said about the Queen was that the Queen actually deserves such incendiary comments, leave your comments down below. So, like I said, the video is not all about the incendiary comments made by Professor Uju Anya, or am I going to dwell so much on the demise of the Queen, but was inspired by the life and times of the late Princess of Wales, Princess Diana. How she have brought to bear her legendary, breathtaking fashion sense. How she would have glamourized and brought fashion, style, elegance to the British throne, were she to be alive and still be married to the King Charles III. So that's what this video is all about, compared to what the present Queen, the wife of King Charles III, Queen Camilla, the Queen Consort, would have, would give to the British people. So that's what the video is, and it's all about. So welcome to my channel, Shanice Digest. I welcome on board my new subscribers as well. I continue to appreciate my returning subscribers. This is a channel where we get to speak out and say it as it is. So now let's even take a peep into the marriage between Prince Charles, who is now King of England, and the late Princess of Wales, Princess Diana, a marriage that produced 2 boys. Prince William, who is now heir apparent to the throne after the ascension of the father as the King of England, and the 5th in line of succession to the throne, Prince Harry. Oh, permit me to deviate a bit here, even though this wasn't part of the video, but I don't seem to understand how the British succession monarchy system works. Prince William, who is just 2 years older than the younger brother, is heir apparent, meaning that he can become king anytime if anything happens to the father. Either the father dies or he abdicates the throne. The next king is Prince William. And then the younger brother will have to wait. He's the 5th in line, in the succession of the throne. I mean, meaning that Prince William will have Prince William and William's kids will have to ascend the throne before the younger brother does that. Meaning, I think Prince William has 3 children. I think the eldest is just 9 years, and that's Prince George. And then the second is a girl, Princess Charlotte. So that's going to be the next time we're going to have a queen again, a Queen of England. If I think she's 3rd in line. She's 3rd in line in the succession of the throne. And then the last boy, who is just about 4, I think that is Prince Louis. So let's even hope that Prince William does not have more children, because the more children Prince William is going to have, the longer the brother will have to wait to ascend the throne. But in any case, I don't even see Prince Harry as being so keen on that throne, because if you follow his trajectory, you see that he cuts across to me as someone who is a non-conformist, a renegade, a rebel of some sort, because you can see that he got married to a divorcee. He got married to a divorcee, an American actress, Meghan Markle. Have you seen her role in the suit, the American TV series that ran for many years? In fact, she was the screen goddess for 7 good years. And then it doesn't really strike me, Harry does not really strike me as someone that would be so keen on that throne, because even in 2020, I think it was in 2020, when they announced to the whole world that they are stepping down their duties as royals, and that they have stepped back as senior royals, and then they moved from the UK to the United States, where they live. So Harry doesn't strike me as someone that is so keen on that throne when it gets to his turn. Hold on a minute. When I say when it gets to his turn, I'm not referring to the Nigeria, it is my turn. It is my turn to be president. I'm not referring to that at all.
Yorùbá ló kàn. Tá a bá dẹ̀ sá Yorùbá náà, èmi ló kàn.
I'm just saying that when it gets to Harry's turn to be the king, I won't be surprised if he turns down the offer, seriously, because I have watched him, and I won't so be surprised if he turns down the offer. So that is it. Maybe with I don't know, depending on what you guys want. If you want me to go deep into the video about the British succession system, how it works, maybe I can probably do a detailed video on that. But now let's get back to our topic for today. How the late Princess Diana, the late Princess of Wales, how brought style, fashion, glamour into the British throne before she passed. So that's what we are talking about today. So coming back to the marriage of Prince Charles, who is now King of England, and the late Princess of Wales in 1981. In fact, their marriage was a fairy tale, magical, whirlwind marriage. But unfortunately, the marriage couldn't survive beyond 11 years as it packed up in 1996. So most people actually feel that the Queen's disdain for the late princess was born out of the fact was born out of her deepest desire to see her firstborn son's marriage mirror hers. She'd been married for 73 years. The husband, Prince Philip, only passed last year. So she wanted to see the same for her son. Just look at them. Don't they look lovely? Look at them. Wow. Their marriage really seems so magical. Looks like a match made in heaven. For them to have stayed married for 73 years is no mean feat, considering what marriages are like these days. They celebrated silver, golden, and diamond and platinum jubilees together as a couple before the husband finally passed last year. I mean, now the son, who is 73 years, is now the King of England. Hold on a minute, guys. You see, she was married for 73 years, and then the son is 73 years. Very clear. I don't know whether I know where I'm going to. I mean, it's so clear. There is no ambiguity. There is no confusion. Unlike in our own case. I mean, there's this. Let me deviate again for a minute, anyway. Unlike in our own case, I mean, there's this back and forth about there's a frontline presidential aspirant in Nigeria who whose age has been shrouded in secrecy and mystery, and then there's the back and forth about how old he is, and then Nigerians trust Nigerians to always want to poke nose. They want to pry. They want, of course. I mean, it's not about even poke nose in them, because this is someone that wants to become the president of the country. So the person has to be above suspicion. So above suspicion, it has to be honest. Honesty has to be there. So most Nigerians went to check. What was this back and forth about this man with his age? So they said, okay, they just went to check, and then they said by the time they checked, I think the first child of this frontline presidential candidate. They said by the time they calculated the first child's age, I don't know how true that is anyway. It seemed like the man had the child when he was just 11, and the wife had the child when she was just 9. Nigerians, I don't even know how true that is, but the truth of the matter is this: I don't know why Africans cannot come clean about their age. As a matter of fact, I don't know. Anyway, that's just by the way. So you can see why the Queen was, not really had a difficult relationship with the daughter-in-law, the Princess of Wales, because probably felt that the daughter-in-law didn't want to stick to the conservative custom of the monarchy. So that is that. Now coming to the real reason why this video is because I told you that the video is all about the life and times of the late Princess Diana, how she brought glamour, how she brought poise, elegance, and modernization into the British throne. So that's just what this video is about. I'm just trying to celebrate her and celebrate her fashion sense, celebrate what she stood for, and how she would have brought this to bear if she were to still be married to Prince Charles, and then she would have been the Queen Consort, and how she would have glamorized the throne. The marriage was a fairy tale marriage, in fact watched by over 20 million people around the globe, which of course launched her or shot her into global fame.
I, Diana Francis.
I, Diana Francis.
Take thee, Charles Philip Arthur George, to my wedded husband.
To my wedded husband.
To have and to hold.
To have and to hold.
From this day forward.
From this day forward.
So even at an early age of 20, the princess understood how she could use fashion to communicate, since she was married to a conservative and aristocratic monarchy, where women weren't really allowed to be that expressive. So she was able to, use fashion to talk, to communicate, to express herself. So even though she took it above what was considered normal, as can be seen from the pictures and the videos. In fact, she was able to use fashion, like I said, to communicate, since they weren't really allowed to be that expressive in the royal household. The women weren't really allowed to be that expressive in the royal household. So she was able to find expression, in her fashion sense. So she moved from that very conservative Princess of Wales to a more liberal, daring fashionista. In fact, there was this interview that she granted shortly after her separation from Prince Charles, who is now the King of England, and with Panorama, where she said that the British throne was, of the British monarchy was indeed should embrace modernization, and that the monarchy was indeed behind time. And she even went ahead to talk about the very unhappy marriage, where she said there were 3 people in the marriage. She said she, the husband, and then the Queen Camilla, and then that she had a difficult relationship with the Queen, and she was also scared for her children.
I think Mrs. Parker Bowles was a factor in the breakdown of your marriage.
Well, there were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded.
But that didn't sit well with the Queen. The Queen felt the British throne, the monarchy felt embarrassed with the interview that she granted. So, of course, before we knew what was happening, divorce proceeding was already initiated, and then which led to the divorce officially, even though Princess Diana didn't really want a divorce. She just wanted to be separated, but not to be divorced.
It is announced from Buckingham Palace that, with regret, the Prince and Princess of Wales have decided to separate. Their Royal Highnesses have no plans to divorce, and their constitutional positions are unaffected.
Divorced, so she didn't want that. So she felt that she was forced. The divorce was actually forced on her. But do you blame the Queen if you don't want to be divorced and then you cannot keep to the terms of the monarchy? Of course, you shouldn't expect anything less. Although so many people were for her. The fact that she came out and then granted that interview, so many people liked what she did, and then they didn't really stand by the Queen. So now they're probably saying that one of the reasons why and the present King Charles now is having very low public rating is probably because of the wife, Queen Camilla, which they don't see her as that very liberal. They don't. Maybe she's too conservative, and then of course she does not have that class, that poise, that elegance. She cannot bring that to bear on the British throne, and maybe that's why the husband is having a low rating, as low as 41%, compared to what the mother, the Queen, had, about 71%. So shortly after the divorce, her look became more international, away from the conservative royal Princess of Wales, with a sophisticated and simple silhouette, as she went ahead to develop her own style of fashion that reflected her freedom and independence. And she became an instant fashion icon, with the embodiment of chic sophistication, classic sense of fashion, and style that, with that expensive simplicity that wowed you when she announced her presence. And she could only be compared to the likes of Jackie F. Kennedy, the wife of the assassinated US President John F. Kennedy, who took fashion to the next level. In fact, she became the most photographed, paparazzi First Lady of the United States. Yes, the late Princess Diana belonged to that realm of legendary fashion icons. The press, the paparazzi just couldn't have enough of her. She was the most photographed, the most paparazzi, the most haunted person in the modern age. In fact, just like they say, fame there is always a price for fame.
When I started my public life 12 years ago, I understood the media might be interested in what I did, but I was not aware of how overwhelming that attention would become.
Has paparazzi chased her and her boyfriend, Dodi Fahid, to her early demise when she was just 36 years old. So can Camilla, the Duchess of Cornwall, now Queen Consort, the wife of the King Charles III, bring class, glamour and glitz, elegance and modernization into a 21st century British monarchy, away from the conservative, behind the time monarchy, which of course the late Princess Diana would have brought to bear on the throne? I very much doubt that. This is where I draw the curtain, and I hope you enjoyed my video for today. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, strike on that notification bell so that you get to be notified whenever I upload a content like this. Leave your comment down below and do not forget to subscribe to this channel. Stay awesome. See you pretty soon. Peace out.